Hey everybody, and welcome back to Kerbal Space Program RP-0. We're taking a brief break from what we should be doing out at Venus. Well, we still got a couple of days window into that. This is the James May, because it is August 1977, and it is time to start throwing things at Jupiter like we're never going to get the chance ever again. So we'll peg our throttle to full. Our inclination with the moon is at 0.25, so I'm going to go ahead and get this off the ground just as quickly as possible. Ignition sequence start. What? Oh no. I did not like the HG3s. Oh, good grief. Yeah, this is what happens when you don't check your staging. Alright, let's light them up. Good light on the HG3 sea levels. We should start actually picking up speed now. That fantastic. Well, that's a really good way to start our awesome 77 window to Jupiter and window to all other things is by failing to light your engines on time. Yes. Off to a great start. Anyway, I guess I'll talk more about the goals for this flight on the way up, and so I'm just going to go ahead and concentrate on trying to pilot this little guy, so pick you guys up in just a second. So, as mentioned before, this spacecraft is kind of dubbed the James May. I think I did a build-a-sode for it, but it was a long time ago. I've actually just been building random spacecraft for this particular window for quite a while now, so we have a lot of launches to get to and not really a whole lot of time. But James May objective here is going to be to use a gravity assist from Jupiter to slingshot to a gravity assist off Saturn, and then follow that up by flying all the way out to Uranus. And the original mission plan required to achieve orbit around Uranus and deploy a little drop probe, Hammond, into the atmosphere and see what science can't be gleaned there. We just missed booster step. The launch vehicle is a DN2B, 2 HG3s on the bottom, and 4 E1s per booster, 8 total, and a J2 upper stage, although I will be confused for quite a while and just assume that it is the HG3 upper stage, because I don't know why I would have upgraded the bottom half of the rocket, but not the top half. So we're just getting our boot sequence fired up and making sure our antenna is tuned to Earth and that all of our comms equipment has booted appropriately. Now that little bit of time that I spent not firing the engines, and maybe it's because I haven't flown a DN2 in forever and a day, I messed up the angle pretty bad. So we're going to end up angling almost 45 degrees above horizon, trying to maintain our time to apoapsis so that we don't go plummeting fiery back to the surface. So it was not the greatest ascent path and not the best executed launch ever, but this is one of those weird interim models of rockets. The DN1 is nice and easy, and the DN5 is like the top end, but these little middle children, the DN2, the DN3, the DN4, don't really get flown a whole lot, just because I either can use the lifting capacity of the 1, or I need the heavy lift of the 5, and even the 5 is going to be getting phased out and replaced soon now that we've got the RS-25s unlocked. I have been doing some development with those, but of course the new upgrades won't be getting applied to stuff that is already built, because that's just kind of wasting money. So, but do expect some of the new RS-25 DN series to start flying here soon enough. And, well, it looks like we're going to come up here on stage set, so I will turn you back over to old me for some more live commentary. Oh no, we've got a problem. Looks like we've got yeah, it's our top engine. Sorry. Looks like we're still getting full thrust, so it might be a lack of ISP. Oh, now our inclination is way off. Gimbals seem to be managing difference? Come on. What was it? Loss of thrust. So, no, I was wrong. It was loss of thrust. Alright, gimbal seems to have it under control for the time being. Great. Well, I guess it was about time that we had one of these HG3s fail. It hasn't really happened before, but okay then. At least it's a minor failure and there's no crew involved. Are we falling? We're falling. We lost enough thrust out of there to really hurt our thrust to weight ratio. So we're going to angle the nose up a bit. This stage is obviously not going to get us close to orbit. We're going to be relying on our upper stage, which is a single HG3. Oh, this is bad. Alright. Well, it's supposed to be 16 seconds to engine cutoff, but I think that's figuring fuel consumption at nominal rates. We might be pushing our non-failed engine a little past its runtime, so... Well, we'd be pushing them both past their runtime in that case, I guess. Hopefully, we won't see a total failure before we reach burnout, but we've only just got a couple seconds to go here. Alright, and we're climbing again. There's cutout, stage sep, ignition. Good light on our HG3. It's activate our RCS. Alright, good. We are, I think we're pretty well still within our margins here. I just would like to get that relative inclination with the moon down just a bit more. Don't know if we're going to see any kind of meaningful change in our inclination this late into our orbit. Yeah, we're coming up on orbit now. There's camera change. Shut down. 218 by 158. It's not pretty, but it's there. Well, alright. We can get rid of rendezvous planner, and we'll go ahead and bring up our maneuver planner window, and we need to reset our target to good old Jupiter. There it is. There's our other things on the way. Pluto 1. Set as target. Let pork chop selection do its calculating. What's lowest delta V? 8 days. How about ASAP? Anytime now for 6.9. What was lowest delta V? 6.8. So yeah, doesn't hurt us that much. Create node. It's in 49 minutes. We can go ahead and tuck that window away. What do we got in the tank? 5,966. So of course we'll be using quite a bit from our transfer stage. I'm fairly certain we have well more than enough. Well, we'll just have to see. Why am I... Yeah. I'm so obviously on point today. Alright, and... Okay, we should have good contacts by then. So, let's just check our power draw. Wow, we're charged. No, we're not. I'm dumb. There'd be a minus symbol there if we were charging. Alright. Oh, it's a J2, not an HG3. Oops. I guess I did build this a very long time ago. Or I wanted 3 ignitions for whatever reason. Alright, we're about 7 minutes out from the node. This one is going to take a while to get through. Oh man, we are heavy. Forgot how absolutely slowly this thing moves. We're just going to kill SAS and let it swing itself into position while saving some of the fuel. We can always dump what RCS fuel we have in this during our burn and enjoy the weight savings or something like that. Right, RCS is back lit. Ooh, I missed. Bring it back. Bring it back. Yo. Might as well use some of this to ullage our engine while we're trying to correct that. We are 6 minutes out from our node. Oh, it says we're going to burn this fuel in 4 minutes. Not a total of 8 minutes. I'm going to let us get a little closer. I know that last kilometer per second will be a little behind the bell. But I think I'll be alright with that. Alright. 4 minutes 27 seconds from our burn. We'll start to ullage in our J2. Unstable, risky, very stable. Here we go. Ignition. We have good light of the J2. Alright, let's just keep it on the node and get this mission underway. Well, at least the J2 lit, and it seems to be staying lit, obviously. This maneuver, and I guess it was just the luck of the orbit, but we're going to come breathtakingly close to the top of the atmosphere. You just glance over at our periapsis and our time to periapsis there as it continues to fall. It really just kind of made me hold my breath for a second, but I didn't want to deviate from the node too much, because accuracy in these repeated gravity assist missions is kind of important. This far out from your targets, it's a lot easier to make small fine-tune adjustments, but it still makes me nervous. It's, you know, I've done it unintentionally once and intentionally once, and so I'm still not very confident in my abilities to do this kind of stuff, but bravely moving forward. That's what we're gonna do. All right, and set. Oh no. Tell me I didn't. Alright, well, we're not going to be able to pull away because that stage is still accelerating under its RCS. Okay, we do have infinite ignition. Flame out. None propellants. Kill the throttle. Switch vessels. Kill the throttle. Switch vessels. Let's see if that'll work. And that gives us 200. Why does it say we need 6,000 more meters per second? Oh, because I switched vessels. Alright, hold on. Let's replot this. This is going so incredibly well. I'm going to need more than 30 seconds. That's an encounter. Let's see how good it is. Alright, so far so good. Yeah, I don't think that was doing a whole lot. Let's go ahead and just try to bring it in good and close. That looks, I know it's telling me it's not an encounter, but it totally is. Let's see. Alright, let's see if we can't get that engine alight. Nope. Okay, I'm going to have to jump back to the VAB and jump right back, so I will be right back. Alright, and we're back. 42 seconds from our node, 683 meters per second to go, engine lit. I should probably unlock some of these tanks too. That was really dumb. Like, really dumb. Alright. So there's our full potential, just under 4 kilometers per second. In our transfer stage. So let's hope this mission starts to shape up a little bit, because it's not been behaving particularly well. Also, yeah, okay, those thrusters are not firing, so I need to enable crossfeed here as well. Make sure all those tanks are locked. Yes, they are. Okay. So does that feed our thrusters? No, it doesn't. Very interesting. I thought for certain it would. Okay, well, at least they all work. That's all I need to see. Well, at least it's pretty, even if it isn't going particularly well. I don't know. We got all the bad luck stuff out of the way, so hopefully everything else that we're going to be launching to Jupiter over the course of the next 2 weeks will hopefully fly perfect, and everything will be wonderful. Let's do a radio in check. Primary radio in. We'll just transmit in one of these, because I'm pretty sure we have a contract for science low over Earth. I didn't mean to hit keep. Great. What did I keep? It was the RPS, wasn't it? Review data. Transmit. Transmit is the button I was looking for. No, I don't have a contract to radio anything in from Earth. I usually just always take those because they're easy and free. You just get a couple grand here and there just for going about your normal business. Should probably tuck this stuff away as it's stabbing through one of our fuel tanks. Yeah, it's probably not the best flight plan. How am I going to balance these dumb tanks out? That was pretty dumb. Whew. One little brain fart. Well, I guess that'd be at least my third brain fart this flight. Forgot to check my staging. Didn't get my inclination to orbit anywhere near right. Forgot to unlock the tanks. So hopefully that's the list end total for this flight, and I promise I will try to shape up and do the rest of this a lot better. Maybe. I'm trying here, okay? Alright, we're just going to shut it down there. I overdid it by about 25 meters per second, but that's because our resultant apoapsis was continuing to rise. So we're obviously having some good net effect. And I also, for some reason, can't quelch this node. That is very interesting. Alright, and now the brief matter of how to balance out these tanks. 686, 680... 676. So we do in fact have a fairly noticeable discrepancy. Isn't that awkward? Yeah, it's got about 400 left. I can just try now. There's not enough left in that tank to fill even one. There's more than enough to fill two. So I'm just gonna go to the 2x2 format. I don't know. I'll try to do something in the daring realm of fuel balance and transfer. This became super exciting. It was basically just drain equal parts from the side tanks, put them into the core tank, put that into the uneven tanks until they were full, just because that's the only way you can make sure that they are even, and repeat the process until you've got all your fuel balanced out. It was super exciting and a great way for me to spend 15 minutes just bouncing fuel around. And I don't know why I'm punishing you by making you watch it. That seems a little unfair. But always unlock your tanks symmetrically. before you start to drain fuel from them to avoid this problem later on, because being off balance would just, it would ruin my whole day. Anyway, with the fuel balanced, it's time to start plotting a node outside of Earth's SOI so that we can make sure we get our proper slingshot off of Jupiter and to Saturn. That's the furthest that we can plot at this point. So the first thing we'll do is try to flatten out our telemetry, or our plane inclination is the word I'm looking for, and then start adjusting our ascending descending nodes, and try to get ourselves lined up with Saturn so that we can make the second part of this hop. So again, it is just a lot of me tugging at nodes and trying to figure out how to get this thing lined up properly. Now, our inclination is not as big of a deal as it was with Pluto, just because we don't have to make a huge plane change to get the intercept at all. But it is nice to try to keep it as zeroed as possible, seeing as how this is only the first and second jump of what we're going to be daisy chaining together. So after some rather meticulous tinkering and tugging of nodes, this part does require a lot of patience. Not my strongest suit. But eventually we will actually get our slingshot encounter. Just not quite yet, so I'm just going to keep ruining it for you. There it is. And there it is, step 1 and 2 of James May's Grand Tour. And it's only 1,341 meters per second. Well, hey, we got the budget. And really, every correction after this should just be a little smaller and a little smaller and a little smaller. But I think our dreams of going orbital at Uranus might be off the tables for this one. Not at all going to prevent us from trying to put our little Hammond down here into the atmosphere and seeing what valuable data we can't glean in our passing. But obviously that will be years and years and years from now. Although we are just 3 days from this corrective node, I guess I should just go ahead and do it. We should probably get something rolling out to the launch pad, though. VAB. And we'll go ahead and get Clarkson, the sister ship to this mission, that is supposed to be going to Neptune. Rolling out to the launch pad. He'll be done in 4 days, so we can tuck that away. Now that we've done our logistical duties, let's go ahead and warp 3 days out. And well, we'll just we'll see what we can't see about maybe getting some of this stuff done. I'm really hoping that the string of bad luck is done. I did activate that dish, right? Yeah, operational, and it has target. That would be, well, we still have connection, so obviously we still have targeting. I don't have a little comms on this one, do I? Not that it's going to matter. Whatever. Tell me your range. 100. Uh-oh. That's interesting. I don't think that antenna has the right range. Well, that's not good. Not a whole lot we can do about it at this juncture, though. We just need to go ahead and get to our node. That's very... I don't know. Let's hope for the time being that it's just a misreadout because of RP-0 and non-RP-0 compatible parts. I'm sure I would have verified that it had the range that we needed. Like, I'm almost certain that's something I would have done. And so we'll just time warp ourselves out of the SOI. We'll get rid of the Kerbal alarm clock notification there and get ourselves somewhat closer to this this burn time. Yeah, now it's starting to set in. Alright, we're about 6 minutes out from the node. 3,300 meters per second can be displaced in just under 10 minutes. So probably going to say right around 5 minutes for this burn. Let's get ourselves angled in. And time warp just a little bit. Get ourselves back just under the 3-minute mark. Probably go a little faster. Oh, yeah. Okay. 2 minutes, 23 seconds. Engine is ullaged. Ignition. We have good light. Alright. Fingers crossed. Let's see if we can't nail this like we nailed Pluto. I should have checked my telemetry at Jupiter. Oh, good. We're still zoomed in here. So our resultant orbit will not take us on a collision course. That is very good to know. So this will probably be a long burn, and I'm probably just going to zip through most of it. So, and lucky you, because this burn was kind of a long one. Trying to be as focused intensely as I can, saying let's ignore the wider berth of the path right now and just try to focus in on what our angle here with Jupiter is. That's the important part. Is this is tuning our approach to Jupiter. It just so happens that our approach to Jupiter is the excellent slingshot out to Saturn. So if we nail Jupiter, we can just ignore the final resultant telemetry. And I would really like to consolidate these tanks. I guess I was thinking it looked nice when I put this together, but it is quite inconvenient, all of these tanks to lock. Anyway, we're coming up on cutoff, so I'll turn you back over to old me. 0.0 meters per second. What did we win? Alright, 1, 2. That's awesome. And then if we get our angle right, we should be able to ride that slingshot right over to Uranus. Oh yeah. Let's see if it'll give us a telemetry here. Nope. Sure won't. That's fine. We can just make further corrections as our flight path continues. I did not mean to do that. Whatever button I hit. So we're going to lock these tanks, make sure RCS doesn't screw up this pretty good start to a grand tour. Locked. Alright. All of them tanks are locked. I'm probably going to want to consolidate these, but those two have entirely too much in them. But these two we can easily drain down here and give us 2 less tanks we have to worry about unlocking later. Fantastic. Alright, well, this one's off to a pretty good start. We're just going to set Kerbal alarm clock for our SOI change in 1 year, 321 days. It's not too bad, honestly, for transit times to Jupiter. And once we make the change to Jupiter SOI with the spacecraft, we can make further fine-tunings to tune our intercept with Saturn and then our slingshot to Uranus. So that's going to do it for this episode, everybody. Thank you so much for hanging out. I do appreciate it, and I will see all of you in the next one. So until then, see you later.